Liverpool's captain Virgil van Dijk is absolutely shameless, man. This is what you don't want to be doing when it's the beginning of the season. We are not even 10 games in, and Virgil van Dijk has felt some sort of, adversity with 3 losses in a row, 2 in the Premier League and the Champions League, 1 as well in between, and he's already pulling the Diogo Jota card, man. And I'm telling you right now, this guy is absolutely shameless for using this as an excuse and for even mentioning his name in order to provide some sort of agenda. Let the man rest. If you're going to be talking about him, talk about the great memories, not using him as an excuse for the season, because he came out in the interview and said, I already told y'all many times that this season is going to be very difficult, not just because of what's happening on the pitch, also because of what is happening outside of it, alluding to the Diogo Jota thing having a toll on the players. But this is my thing as well. You've lost 3 games in the season. You're losing the top of the table to Arsenal, right? Because Arsenal have won few games in a row. Meanwhile, you've lost a few in a row, so they've taken advantage. They've capitalized. But at the end of the day, man, you cannot be pulling out the Diogo Jota card. That is shameless and a disrespect to his family, honestly, that you're going to be just saying, oh, yeah, if that wouldn't have happened, we wouldn't have lose these 3 games. And it's just disgraceful. But Liverpool on this hand, they have lost 3 games in a row. Crystal Palace, 2-1, last-minute winner from Eddie Nketiah. Then Galatasaray won 1-0 with a pen from Victor Osimhen. And Chelsea beat them 2-1. Now, the Chelsea game, Virgil van Dijk in the defense and Konate have not looked the greatest. And throughout the season, honestly, many people have said that Liverpool is looking a bit like they shouldn't have won as many games as they should. They look a bit weak. And this is honestly agreeable because not only are some of the players like Virgil van Dijk and Konate who have been on the team with Diogo Jota, right, who may be having a toll, there's also new transfers who are struggling and causing this effect, honestly, on Liverpool players who are forced to play out of position, which I'm going with Florian Wirtz, 009. All right, he didn't really socialize with Diogo Jota. Maybe he knew about him and whatnot, but him being this bad and being, the record-breaking fee from the Premier League at one point before the Isak transfer, he's the second most expensive player in Premier League history. Meanwhile, his teammate's the first. But why is Alexander Isak not, performing? Why is Florian Wirtz not performing? Why is Kirkes not performing? Why is Frimpong not performing? You cannot use the same shameless card on these players. Yes, it's a sad situation, but they weren't like best friends like maybe Van Dijk and Konate were. So that is where, I kind of call it shameless on their part, to even put this as an excuse or even use it. Because maybe, I'll tell you this, maybe it is the reason why they're struggling, but you don't actively say it in the media. It is just wrong to use his name in this kind of, in this way, in my opinion. But it doesn't explain why Florian Wirtz is playing so poor. And then you have Szoboszlai playing right back. You're kind of messing up the way, Liverpool won the Premier League, which was, Mohamed Salah, Dominic Szoboszlai, Luis Diaz, McAllister, Gravenberg, and sometimes Curtis Jones or maybe Szoboszlai would go into the midfield and you would put maybe Luis Diaz there, or it was just a hard-working team altogether, right, with Andy Robertson, Trent, Van Dijk, and Konate. The whole team was a unit. Right now the team, you could tell, is adapting because you are having 4 or 5 transfers coming in from last season, as well as Alexander Isak, Hugo Ekitike, 2 strikers who you spent over 200 million on bringing them both in, which I thought was completely unnecessary. Sometimes more is less, and that's going to be exactly what I've been saying throughout the season. These 2 players playing together is a problem. Florian Wirtz and Dominic Szoboszlai play the same position. No reason to replace a player that was absolutely balling last season, and then you both have to force them both onto the team. And you're forcing one to play right back while the other one's not performing. How do you think the one that's performing better out of position feels about Florian Wirtz having a 009? And he's the reason why they beat Arsenal as a whole. Had a shift against Martinelli, kept the clean sheet at right back, and scored the worldly free kick. And then he can't even play his position because they're forcing in this, transfer record into the midfield. So defensively, Konate's head, I'll tell you what, is in Madrid. Virgil van Dijk is 39 years old. Left back, Kirkez is still adapting, still getting exposed. Andy Robertson looks more solid when he plays. He just doesn't have the legs for 90 minutes anymore. It's really the truth. So it's a bit of a mess with Liverpool. It has nothing to do with what, tragically happened. It has to do with you brought in so many players. They've yet to adapt. They're not hitting the ground running. Now you're getting kind of exposed because what you were doing right last season, you can't because you're basically trying to play in Wirtz into this, Frimpong, Kirkez, all these guys, and it's just not functioning. And then you have, bad performances from the likes of Konate. That's the truth. It doesn't come down to this. It really doesn't. It maybe has a bit of an effect, but at the end of the day, it's not going to affect the new transfers who aren't performing at a high level, which they should be considering the price tag. But anyways, make sure to leave a like and subscribe and leave a comment down below. What do you think about Van Dijk using Diogo Jota's tragic death as an excuse for their struggles in the last 3 games? But anyways, thank you guys for watching.